Breaking right now, Prince Harry's biographer Angela Levin has exclusive new reporting suggesting the King is open to some sort of reconciliation with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, despite how rude they have been. And that is the understatement of the year.
Meghan Markle, once hailed as a modern breath of fresh air in the royal family, is making headlines again. But this time, it's not for a charitable cause or a Netflix deal.
Angela joins me now live to dig into all of this and, of course, the repercussions that such reconciliation would have on King Charles's growing relationship with Prince William. So, Angela, this is really fascinating. What have you learned?
Well, I think many fathers love their sons, but they might not like what they're doing. And I think this is a huge example of that. And I think now that Prince Charles is older and glad to be alive, but is wary of getting ill again, that he wants to have his family with him. But it's a big blockage because Harry doesn't want to compromise. He demands things. Demands to be seen just when he's there without a question about what would suit you. Can I come, next week or 2 weeks? It's always actually up to him. And I think that he's obsessed with being demanding and not making any sort of effort to make it easier for him. So he can't. And one of the other main practical things is that because he is king and him, as if it's the country, and they have people saying, well, this is the business side of life, and you can't actually pay for somebody's tickets or people looking after him 24/7 all around the world, out of all the people's pockets. It's just not possible to do that. It would come out of our tax, and good Lord, we've got far too much to do with that now anyway. And to try to take to court the Home Office, which
Well, he's
Charles
taking his
is
own father
responsible
to court.
for.
I mean, what some people don't realise, right, with the royal family is, yes, obviously they have to be hands-off politically. They can't get involved. But if you actually look at it, Angela, from a very practical level, Harry is taking His Majesty's government to court. That's his own father. And also, he's part of the whole institution. I mean, it's utterly, utterly ridiculous. It was a ludicrous thing.
Oh no. According to insiders, the Duchess of Sussex is demanding that staff and people around her address her as ma'am, and Prince Harry as sir. Is this royal protocol or diva behavior gone too far?
But are you saying, Angela, that Harry, in terms of his demands, is he also still demanding this apology to Meghan
Oh
from
yes, I
Charles?
think he still wants the apology. Well, see, Meghan won't come to this country, and the only way she will come is that she's got demands of what's very important. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, I think one of these is to have an enormous home to live in, which she probably wouldn't be here for very much time. But I think that her demands are so ridiculous because she doesn't want to be here. She feels inadequate here, I think, and she couldn't grasp what it's like being a member of the royal family, except that she now demands that people call her ma'am and that they call Harry sir. And that's very interesting because that's a new thing. She didn't want that. She wanted to be easy to talk to. But I think now, because things haven't worked out, she's decided that she wants to be called mom. And I think the whole thing is ridiculous. What is extraordinary is that if they're happy, if they're together, and they've got 2 children, they can do what they like. This hanging on to the past is just ridiculous. And Harry is known now for hanging on to the past and not being able to move on. And that's not going to get them anywhere. And it's just going to get them more and more rude. I mean, one of the things he demands is that he wants to choose who's in the room. He doesn't want anyone else but King there. But I think the King needs a bit of protection there because he can lose his temper. So that's very difficult. And I think he's just, he's behaving like a spoilt child. and he ought to grow up and behave in a proper manner.
Well, oh my goodness, that is so fascinating on so many levels, actually. Of course, the king would need people in the room because the problem is Harry can't be trusted not to twist promises. And actually, if we just look at the now famous or the infamous Hollywood Reporter article, which I've got up here, of course, the reason that Hollywood keeps quitting on Harry and Meghan is because of the fact that they were making all of those demands.
Yes, yes, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's
Like
going too far.
calling mom. I mean,
And
Angela, people in America, right, don't want to have to call someone mom. It's not how they do things. They're very polite.
yeah, ma'am, isn't it actually?
Yes,
M-A
yes, ma'am.
apostrophe A-O. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am. Yes, they're casual.
and I
And
know, look, I
actually,
know you could say that's a small thing, Angela. Sorry just to interrupt, but I know you could say it's a small thing, but do you not think it's actually very indicative? That's very indicative
yes,
of the sort of person she is. That's very indicative of why she's had, I think you've reported, Angela, something like 40 staff members leaving her now. I mean, it's quite unhinged behavior, let's just be honest.
yes, I think that she's not getting what she wants in terms of jobs, like starring in a film or
Mm.
producing a play from a book, or doing her cooking and being lovely at home with making a wonderful food and jam for people, and nothing is coming through. And the reason for that is that she gets people, buys people to come, not buys them, pays them to come. And then she gets rid of them because she doesn't like what they're saying. She doesn't listen. So she's not an expert in any of these things. I mean, any of us who do something that we don't know about, you need someone there to advise you. Then you can go off on your own easily, but she won't. And I think she's grabbing this because that's something that gives her prestige. And she hasn't had prestige. I mean, there was just this very, very unpleasant comment about her that she was stupid and she didn't listen to anyone and she makes terrible judgments. And we haven't seen her since then. She usually disappears when that is said. And so she's losing everything that she wants, really. And so she's given herself a title, and is probably that's something that gives her some compensation, but it doesn't really, because you can't pretend to yourself that you're something that you're not.
Let's break it down. The demands, the backlash, and what it really says about Meghan and Harry's post-royal image. According to multiple sources close to the couple, Meghan has allegedly insisted that staff, including employees working on their production company, address her as ma'am.
Angela, can we talk about the Prince William factor? Because it's all well and good Charles being open minded, but the problem is he's going to very much anger the son who has been loyal to
Yes.
him if he does welcome back Harry into the fold in any way.
Yes, certainly not at the moment. And I don't think King Charles would do that to upset William. He wouldn't, because William's doing a very good job and moving forward, and also being very kind. And he's looked after Catherine. The king has looked after Catherine very nicely and made her feel very comfortable. So she can go there for a weekend and not feel awkward. And I think that's very significant, because if you're not well, then there's not that many places you want to be, because no one else would understand it. So William will be very grateful to his king that he's very caring for Catherine. I think all these things knit together. But William's just not going to stand for it. He just is not, because he's been so rude, so unkind, so rude about him, that he just doesn't want to know. And he's now doing well. I think there comes a time when you wait enough years and you feel that you're all right. I mean, at the beginning, he was heartbroken because they were so close. And Harry used to say to me that is the only person, William is the only person he can trust, and they can talk about anything. And even if they have an argument, they get back again very quickly, and he trusts him, and they really get on brilliantly. Well, that's definitely gone. I think they missed it. Certainly William did for quite a long time. But now you move on. I mean, you've got family and they make you laugh, and you can have little joyful time with them. And so you need Harry less and less.
William is thriving. William is thriving. I keep saying it. He's come into his own. It took him a couple of years, you're right, but he's doing incredibly, incredibly well. And we saw that in South Africa this week. But Angela, I just want to speak to you about Prince Harry at NATO quickly,
Yes,
because people are
that was
saying
bizarre.
that,
That was
yeah,
bizarre.
but what people are
There
saying,
he is.
sorry, you,
A
you
lot
go
of
first, Angela.
people, yeah, a lot of people don't know if he did that on the day he appeared or whether it happened a long time ago. They couldn't work it out. We didn't actually hear what he was saying, but he went to NATO to try and get money for the Invictus Games, and that was what's coming soon. And a lot of people no longer want to take part because they feel that Meghan, particular, has taken over, and they feel very uncomfortable about her being there. And the numbers have gone down. But whether Harry wanted money just for the Invictus Games itself, or whether he wanted money for the fair and for the clothes and for the very, very smart hotel that they would stay in as well. Very odd thing to
Can I
do.
just ask
Look,
you, Angela, about this headline? Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to ask you
yeah,
about this
no, go
headline
on, go
because
on.
it looks
Yeah.
like it has been leaked to the New York Post, who get given lots of stories from Harry and Meghan. And the point that it makes is, oh, there was a photo of Harry and Meghan's wedding behind him. So somehow there's no issues in their relationship. Now, that seemed to be leaked to the New York Post. What do you make of it?
And Prince Harry asked Sir. One insider reportedly said, "There's a formality that feels forced. It's all very hierarchical." Sounds more Buckingham Palace than Montecito, doesn't it?
Oh, I think all that's nonsense. It's playing a game, isn't it? It's just shoving a picture there, but it means nothing, and they take it away straight afterwards and smash it on the floor. You know, I don't take any notice of that. That's not proof of anything. It's not um, proof of love. It's not proof of friendship. It's, you know, it means nothing. Somebody who feels that a picture of their wedding when they're hardly talking and they're not getting on is some sort of help.
Sign.
Well, I think that's ridiculous, absurd,
Okay, no, I
absurd.
agree. I agree. Very well put. And Prince Andrew and King Charles are at loggerheads. Angela Levin, is it true that the king has now withdrawn funding to his younger brother?
Yes, it's absolutely true that on the 1st of November, the £1 million that he's given him for a very long time for each year to help him spend happily has been stopped. And also, they've also stopped all the protection people that were looking after him. And because it's such a very, very big mansion, 30 rooms, there's quite a lot of them wandering around making sure everything's okay. And that's gone as well. Now, Andrew has always been jealous of
Mm-hmm. A bit
Charles,
like Harry.
not in the same as Harry, but in a different way. And he used to be his mother's favorite, and she would always try and say, you know, he doesn't deserve it. It's me. I should be much better. And Prince Philip liked Andrew very much because he was more macho, whereas Charles would like looking at plants and all that sort of thing. But one of the things that you may not know is that he was going absolutely furious to see his mother lots of times to tell her that she must not let him be king, and you must stop Camilla staying anywhere near him. And King Charles, then, well, Prince Charles, was very, very upset about that. But he worked incredibly hard not to get Camilla to be able to marry Charles. And I don't think they've ever felt particularly warm to him. They've made some sort of a friendship, but they haven't, because he was so spiteful. I think he said some things about her that were not truthful. But, you know, Charles was absolutely determined and it didn't happen. But I think it was very unpleasant. I know this on a very, very, very good source. But, you know, it was
So
very,
there's a
very
lot of
difficult.
bitterness that remains. Is that your reporting?
No, I think Camilla is not someone who bears a grudge. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling to be able to grab, but I think that they're wary. I think they're okay. And Camilla has never said that Fergie couldn't come. You know, she didn't come to Christmas and the royal meals for years and years because Prince Philip couldn't stand her. But as soon as he passed away, Camilla invited her because she said Beatrix and usually her daughters were there, and it was a shame that she missed out.
But the twist? This is happening far from royal grounds, in Hollywood boardrooms and Zoom calls with American producers. Now let's be fair. In the royal world, titles like ma'am and sir are part of the package.
So she's not spiteful. She doesn't want to hold on to something and get her own back. But I think it was just awful at the time because she was being told that she wasn't a nice person, and you know, it was all about Diana and that she'd stole him from her and all that. So it wasn't actually a good time, but she's sat through it, and now she's much admired and a terrific, good thing for the royal family to have.
Can I just put the other side
That's,
in regards
yeah.
to Royal Lodge, though, Angela? Because I've
Mm.
spoken to people close to Prince Andrew who say there's absolutely no way that he should have to leave Royal Lodge. He signed up to this lease. It was a wedding present from, well, the wedding present that his mother, the late Queen, had given him, which was the house they used to live in. Once that was sold, the proceeds of the house were used for Royal Lodge. And the idea was that he had this decades-long lease and that he should be able to stay. It's his home. He's made it his home. He doesn't want to go to Frogmore Cottage. That's his argument.
Yeah, he doesn't want to, but there are two things here. One, he lost his HRA, she can't use that. And that takes him back from being a proper royal. And the other is he's not doing any work for the royals. So with those two together, it is possible that he could no longer stay there. And actually, it's said in that the Queen wanted to get rid of him, but she died. I mean, she was very ill at the time, but she decided she wanted to get rid of him, and she did want them to not to stay there anymore. So if she's done that, there's no reason why King Charles should follow in her footsteps. But I think it's just he's always felt that King Charles would give in to him because he's softer. But this time he's standing very firm. And one of the reasons is that the building itself, the mansion itself, is looking in the most terrible state. And in his contract, he was supposed to keep it in good condition and do painting at so many years in between, while he was there, and none of that has been done. So it's a very big wreck now. And actually, I think a lot of people who are married and their children leave home and they don't want to come and live in your house, then a lot of people downsize. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing shameful with that. But he doesn't want to. He wants to stay there with Fergie in one part of it. And so it's just going on and on. But he's now said that he got some money. Andrew's saying he got some money from the Queen and he can afford to live there. But I don't think that will will work. But I mean, you obviously don't want a great fight in the middle of the grass, do you? I mean, that would be too terrible for words. But
No, no.
I think it's
Yeah, there's
they just
loggerheads. There are
don't get on.
loggerheads. No, there are absolute loggerheads.
But Meghan and Harry stepped away from royal duties in 2020. They said they wanted privacy, to be independent, to escape the rigid protocols of palace life. So why bring those titles into a life they claimed would be free from royal expectations?
Do you know what? I wish Charles would stand firm a little bit more, though, Angela, when it came to good old royal traditions. I couldn't believe this reporting last week on the front page of the Mail on Sunday, that there are now radical reforms being considered by royal officials that could see the word empire dropped from British honours. So under the outlined plans, those recognised with an OBE, Order of the British Empire, could instead choose to receive an Order of British Excellence. A parallel Order of Elizabeth has also been proposed in remembrance of the late Queen. Now, this is a revelation from the biography of the King by the Mail's Robert Hardman, and it quotes a senior palace official saying any change is a matter of government, but I think that they would find that this place was pretty open to the idea. And I'm like, why do they keep pushing these woke ideas, Angela? Do they not realize, like, the whole point of the royal family is to uphold tradition, to be proud of the British Empire and its successors, and to not constantly give Republicans energy?
Yes, I think that's right. I feel exactly the same as that, because I think anybody who is extremely full of woke, that it would never be enough. I think if you do something like that, they immediately want something else. They will want, everybody to vote who is going to be king or something ridiculous like that. I don't think you can satisfy people like that. And then why should you? You are a monarchy. I think it's very important in the same way that I think, and they mainly do, you don't have people knowing too much about you. I think that since the Queen has passed away, they're much softer and more accessible. And I think that's a good thing, but you mustn't go too far, because you are our royal family and it's very important. And we're very lucky in this country to have you with us. And we don't want you giving away something. It's a wonderful word, empire. It's lovely. And I think we can all admire it. And my goodness, we need to admire the royal family at the moment, I think, with what's going on.
Oh, indeed. And that's why, actually, Angela, I've left it till last this week. I didn't even watch it, okay? But Channel 4, hard lefties, big-time Republicans, mega woke, love Harry and Meghan, have teamed up with the Sunday Times effectively for a big hit piece on Charles and William and the money that they earn. As I say, I've ignored the story because I know that this is coming from a highly politicized angle by people who want to just destroy the royal family. But do you have anything to say on it?
Is this about respect or control? Whether you see it as a diva move or just sticking to royal formality, Meghan's latest demand is raising more eyebrows than ever. In a world where they promised simplicity, this feels anything but. Let us know in the comments, is Meghan stepping out of line or just stepping into her power? Either way, we're watching closely. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to click that bell so you never miss a royal reveal.